All right, so today we're talking about perimeter polygons and areas of quadrilaterals. Um, I'm sure you probably have seen this stuff before. I guess it helps if I show you the screen too, huh? I'm sure you guys have seen this before. This would be stuff you did in geometry, probably even a little bit in algebra, pre-algebra, that kind of stuff. But this is something that we're going to focus on a lot over the next few chapters, and even throughout the rest of the year, we're going to be looking at shapes a good bit. Okay? So again, I gave you that packet right there. That packet will kind of be your formula sheet. Okay, so make sure you keep that somewhere that you know where it's at. Don't just shove it in the back of a folder and pray that it shows up someday when you need it. All right, so first off, so we have some definitions. First definition is a polygon. Polygon is a closed plane figure containing three or more straight sides. Now, a polygon is going to be all kinds of crazy most times. It could be shapes that are all over the place. They could be funky looking. There can be nothing to them. They could be, they don't necessarily have to be a rectangle or a pentagon. Right? Those are standard shapes. A polygon can be any shape as long as it's closed. Now, the big thing is to see for a polygon, a polygon might look like this. All right? Different is has to be closed. So if I have this, is that a polygon? No, it's not a closed shape. It's open right here. All right? The second thing is a vertex. A vertex is a corner of a polygon. It's a place where two sides meet up. Sides are line segments that form the polygon. In this case here, this goofy one, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 sides. Line segments is a finite portion of a straight line. That's what your sides are made of. They're made up of line segments. Diagonals are line segments connecting non-consecutive vertices. So let me draw a picture for this. You might want to draw this picture down too. So say I'll just use a rectangle for instance. Okay. If I have a rectangle, the diagonals would be here and here. Okay. These ones here are the diagonals. If I have maybe a pentagon, something like this, diagonals would be any two sides any two endpoints or corners that I connect that don't have sides touching them. Okay? So diagonal, I can have, quite a few diagonals. The more sides I have, the more diagonals I can have. All right? First one, if you have goofy shapes such as these four, define the perimeter of a polygon, add up all the sides. Easy. Okay? Add up all the sides for a polygon. So the first one is a triangle, second one's a rectangle. Those are pretty straightforward. All right? Triangle, add up the three sides. 7 and 8, 15, 10. So we have perimeter of what? 7 plus 8 is 15 plus 10 is 25. Okay? So 25 feet. Be careful. Make sure you put units on these. All right? Second one. Pretty straightforward. It's a rectangle. 8, 2 is 10. 8, 2 is 10. So my perimeter will be 20 inches. Okay? Again, just add up all the sides. If you know all the sides, add up all the sides. Two more there. Figure them out real quick. Just add up all the sides. That's all you got to do. All right, so for the third one, Sadie, what'd you get? 49.4 centimeters. Everybody agree? Okay. Bobby, what'd you get for the fourth one? 22 yards. We agree? 20. 10, 15. I got 20 as well. 10, 15, 18, 20. I think you added an extra one in there somewhere.
Oh, yeah, I did.
Okay.
I read the 3 feet is 3 yards.
That'll do it. Wait a second. Wait a second. You know what? You know what? Bobby might be the right one. I missed it too. Oh, all right, all right. Nice catch. I hadn't seen this PowerPoint in a while, so I didn't catch it either. So, 5 feet, 4 yards, 6 yards, 3 feet, 2 yards. They're all different units, aren't they? So let's change them to feet. You all right with that? So this one's good. 4 yards is how many feet? 12. Okay. 3 feet's a yard. This one's 3 feet, so that one's good. 2 yards would be how many feet? 6 feet. Okay. And then 6 yards would be how many feet? Okay. Add up all the circled numbers now. 44. Okay. So there we go. Add up all sides, but just be careful that the units are the same. All right. Questions? All right. So here are the 4 types of quadrilaterals we are going to look at today. 4 types. We have parallelogram, rectangle, square, trapezoid. All right. So a parallelogram. Parallelogram is opposite sides are parallel and equal. So we have 2 pairs of parallel sides. On the first one, this would be parallel to this. This and this are parallel. All right. So parallelogram is a 4-sided figure with both sides parallel and equal. Both opposite sides parallel and equal. Rectangle parallelogram has 4 right angles. It's going to have 2 sides of the same length and another 2 sides of the same length. Opposite sides are going to be the same. Square is a rectangle with 4 sides congruent. It would also have 4 right angles. Okay, a square is a rectangle. A rectangle is not a square. And then lastly is a trapezoid. Trapezoid has 2 parallel sides and 2 non-parallel sides. So notice the difference between a trapezoid and a parallelogram. Parallelogram, both opposite sides are parallel. This one here, only one pair is parallel. I'm sure you guys probably remember these from before, right? Good to move on. All right, so first one we're going to look at is rectangles. I have your area and your perimeter formulas up there for your rectangle. The area of a rectangle is going to be length times width, or L times W. Perimeter of a rectangle is 2L plus 2W. Now, why did I give you a formula for perimeter? Add up all 4 sides. Sometimes they don't give them to you, so just in case you get a little confused, say we have this guy here. I might give you a rectangle and say this is 4 inches, this is 6 inches. Okay? We want to find the area of that guy. What's my length? 6. What's my width? 4. 6 times 4 is 24. 24 what? Inches. And anytime it's area, you have to put a squared with your units. Okay, because easiest way to look at this is area is 2-dimensional, length and width, right? So therefore my units are 2-dimensional. So I put a 2 there. All right, so it's 24 inches squared. Now, if I could go ahead and copy these over and say the top side has to be 6 and the right side has to be 4, or I could just use the perimeter formula. 2 times the length plus 2 times the width. Whoops, there's 4. 2 times 6 is what? 12. 2 times 4 is 8. Add them together. You get what? 20. Okay? And this would be 20 what? What's my units? Inches. Okay? Area is inches squared. Perimeter is just going to be just the straight units. Make sense? All right, next one. Squares. Easiest one of all of them. Squares. Area is S squared, or side squared. could still do length times width if you're given two sides, but you're not always given two sides. Perimeter, 4 times the side length. A lot of times you're going to get ones like this. They're going to say, all right, here's your square, has a side of, we'll go 5 feet. That's all it gives you, just one side. All right, so if I want to take that area, using this formula, one of the sides is 5 feet. 5 squared. What's 5 squared? 25. 25 what now? Feet squared. Good. Perimeter is going to be 4 times a side. 4 times 5 is 20. And that would be 20 feet. Those ones two are pretty straightforward, right? Those first two. All right. Now, step it up just a little bit. Parallelogram. This one is going to be very similar to our rectangle, except for this. Area of a parallelogram is going to be base times height. All right. Now, I'm going to write a little note in here. Your base is not the length of that side. Your base is going to be the distance between opposite sides. Okay? So if I want to go from here to here, those two opposite sides there, you have to go straight between them, right? The distance between 2 points is a straight line at a right angle. Okay? I do not want the length of this one. If I get the length of this, that's going to be a bigger shape. Okay? Makes a triangle outside here. It's my hypotenuse. This would be the longest side of that triangle. I am worried about this distance right here. Okay? Does that make sense? So for instance, this is a mistake a lot of people make. So say I'm just going to use, we use this guy. Here. Say this is 10. This is 6. And that one is 5. Which two sides do I want? Which two numbers do I need to use here? 10 and 5, correct. I'm going to tell you right now, the first time we do this on a quiz or something, someone's going to give me an answer of 60. Almost guaranteed. Okay? You don't want the side length on a parallelogram. You want the distance between the two sides, which is going to be a perpendicular line. Bless you. Okay? So for this guy, if I want to find the area, I would have 10, which is the base, times 5, which is the height. Remember back to triangles, it's the same type of thing. You want the height, not the length of two of the sides. Okay? So in this case, it would be, we'll call it yards. Okay? So 10 times 5 is 50 yards. Good. 50 yards squared. Does that make sense, guys? Okay. All right. Now, I put on a separate page just because I need the notes. Perimeter of a parallelogram is 2 times the sides. This one here, you would use the sides. So in that example I did on the last page, okay, if I use this one, now I would use that 6 for perimeter, but I don't use it for area. So the perimeter of this guy then would be 2 times 10 plus 2 times 6. That's why I put them on the 2 different pages then too. Okay, so this is 20 and 12, so I got 32 yards for my perimeter. Do you guys see the difference between the two? Okay. All right, last one of the day, trapezoid. Area of a trapezoid. Same type of thing. We want to find our height between the two, which is the distance between the bases. Again, with the bases being our parallel sides. The only thing that's slightly different on this is we have our bases that are different lengths, right? We have a short base and we have a long base. I don't care which one you count as base 1 or base 2. It does not matter to me whatsoever. But the two bases are the two parallel sides. Height is the distance between. We got to add the bases together and divide by 2. We're essentially finding the average of this. All right? We're basically turning this thing into this rectangle here. So we're by finding the average, you're basically taking this chunk, putting it up here, this chunk, putting it up here. Okay? So we're just kind of making it easier on ourselves. So if I have this guy, I'm going to say that base, say base 1 is 6, base 2 is 10. We'll say this is in meters. And we'll say the height is, let's go 7. And then this side over here is going to be 8. Okay, again, we're worried about the height, not the length of that slanted side. All right? The 8 does not matter to us for area whatsoever, based on the way I have it drawn. All right? So the area here would be base 1. What's base 1? 6. Plus base 2, which is 10, over 2, times the height. What's my height? 7. Okay, 6 plus 10 is what? Divided by 2? 8. So we have 8 times 7. 8 times 7 is 56. And that'd be 56 meters squared. Okay? Now, perimeter, I don't have it written on here. Perimeter would be, this would be one of those ones, all the sides added.
There's no way I'm remembering.
Okay? What's that?
So there's no way I'm remembering all this.
Well, that's why you have that packet.
Are we gonna be able to use the packet on that?
Yeah. Okay? All right, so in this case here, we'll say that these guys are both 8 meters. All right, so I'd add them all up. So the perimeter would be 8 plus 10 plus 8 plus 6. What are we looking at here? 26, 32. So it'd be 32 meters would be my perimeter. You guys all right with that? Okay, I'm going to put up 4 problems here. Okay, first one, we go square. We're going to say that this is 11 centimeters. 2, rectangle. 3, I want you to find the area and the perimeter for each one of these guys. Let's go over these four real quick. First one is a square. Area. You have to do a side squared, correct? What did you get? 121 centimeters squared. Perimeter. 4 times whatever the side is, right? 44. 44 centimeters. Okay, number 2. Area. Length times width. So I'm going to have 14 times 28. What's 14 times 28? 392. That would be yards squared. Perimeter. 84. 2 times 14, 2 times 28, 84. I buy that. Down here at the bottom, this would be your base. This is your height. So 8 times 5 is what? 40. That'd be 40 feet squared. Now perimeter, you'd have 8, 8, 6, and 6, right? This time you would use the 6 for the side legs. That's going to be what? 28. I'll buy that. 28 feet. Last one, area is going to be 7 plus 11 divided by 2 times 4, which is going to give us 45 meters squared. Perimeter is going to be what? 28. How many people got all those right?
I got the area on the last one.
Okay. All right. That's it for today. There will be a homework assignment from today's lesson. It'll be due next Wednesday. Your quiz is still due today at, I think it's 5 or 6. Get done by the end of the day. Have a good weekend.
Was the quiz the one on like the definitions?